All right. Hey, Ty. All right, so we're not really doing a whole lot of focus in here at the moment, although we did treat that, and we're going to be dealing with that later. This room right here is kind of our staging room for the moment, so we've got a lot of stuff in here. Plumber came out and done this. I still got to get the electrician to pull these out to get it out of our way so we can get going, but as you can see, it is now out. And all right, so Juan's gone to go get stuff. That's Jimmy. And Juan's going to get the wood. We've got sheetrock, but we got to get some wood over here so we can fill this in and get mud and texture and trim on it and get all that taken care of. One thing I want to show you, all the plastic on the floor. So this is now day 4 because we did Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So we're early part of day 4 and we're getting ready to start spraying mud on all the walls. All the old texture that they put on, all the bad patches, went ahead and sanded those off, and you can see a lot of the sanding on the wall. We don't have to worry about mud getting on this. We're gonna put a blade up and then spray mud. So everything's gonna get covered in fresh mud in here, so it's gonna look like a brand new house with that fresh texture on the wall. You will lose this kind of texture, which is a terrible texture to match. Whenever you first do a wall and it's smooth and they're sanded, you take a leather roller and you roll this out nice and even out of one batch of mud, so it's very hard to match that kind of mud and try to go over it. So the type of texture we're putting on is a splatter texture, so it'll come out at high pressure and splatter and hit the wall, and by the thickness of the mud is how thick the splatter is. So we got everything covered up in here. Later on we'll throw plastic over the refrigerator and get that covered. I think it's on, so we didn't want to cover that up while it's running. Other than that, as you can see, this is a heavy splatter texture. We're not going that heavy because that takes a lot of material, and but we're going to be similar to that, and it'll cover up. So as you can see, everything's protected like it needs to be. Mr. Jimmy's in here doing his work. He's going to get this bathroom covered up, plastic everywhere, so we don't get any messes anywhere that makes it hard for cleanup and very lengthy cleanup. So it's all really finished work is 95%, setting it up in order to do it, and it's really just 5% work. So by having all this taped up, covered up, we're going to come in here and blow texture, take a sponge, wipe trim, and then sand it down with sponges, and then start paint work. So it's going really good. So I just want to give you a visual update of what's going on over here. And the ceiling, well, I think we're going to be fine on the ceiling. We'll put a blade up here and hit it that way, and we'll try to keep the texture off the ceiling because no need to do all that. But we'll get all this covered up and then you're ready to go. So moving along anyway, this is the spot that's leaking. What it is, you can see it's wet right now, and it's from the refrigerant line. It's cold and it's mixing with the hot air in the attic, and so it's creating moisture. The only way to fix that is to wrap it in insulation. It's a rubbery insulation. You'll see it outside and stuff like that. But anyway, all this has been caulked already, so all the caulking and sanding has been done, and then they cleaned it and put tape on it and then started running plastic. Plastic was already here, but they started running the plastic for protection of the splatter. But anyway, that's update number 1. Update number 2 that I'll do is going to be after we get the texture on the wall, and we're going to prime it all out. We're going to spray primer everywhere and get it all covered in nice good primer and sealer, so it's going to smell nice and fresh like a brand new house in here as soon as we do that. Now once we paint the walls and pull the tape and start running trim paint, then we're going to take all this plastic off of the cabinets, and then we'll shoot the cabinets as well. So we'll take care of that. Anyway, there you go, Ty.